Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Perspectives. I'm Zoe and this is Scott. And today we have a special guest, Georgie Janssen. Welcome, Georgie.
Hi, how you going?
Hi, Georgie.
So I just introduced Georgie. She studied her teaching degree and her exercise science degree, and she's been working as a Pilates teacher for the past 4 years. In 2019, Georgie launched her own wellness business. And recently she's created a wellness hub with a virtual platform for schools. And she's about to launch this and provide it as part of the school's curriculum. So can you tell us a little bit more about your program, Georgie, and how it all works?
Yeah, so it's originally I would go and physically teach classes to schools and teach Pilates, and I had yoga instructors and things like that because schools are becoming more into this kind of mindfulness movement and really focusing on getting kids to step outside their normal PE competitive sport movement. And I then decided during this whole pandemic to start an online series to kind of sit beside my physical presentation of classes. And yeah, so then I'm providing schools with Pilates, meditation and yoga classes for years, senior school all the way through to primary school. And they're just really great videos for kids to follow along in their homes that they can actually fully participate in and get moving without having that worry of having to go outside, which I think is the big issue at the moment.
Can I ask you a question about that? How old, do you have a primary age that you target with kids?
Yeah, so the primary age of kids in Australia is around the age of 6. They start prep to 12, so age of 12. The classes are they have modification and challenges for all of the kids. So any kid can kind of jump in and do the class and they will see challenges, but they'll also see modifications. So I wanted it to be something that families can kind of do together because a lot of kids are the same kind of age and their families have got kids in the same kind of bracket. And I want them all to be able to participate together. But also just as a long-term thing, these kind of movements are really, really powerful for kids to be able to sleep properly and to be able to connect with their body a little bit better. And for kids that don't really like PE, it's really good for them to be able to do something that's a bit different.
I just wanted to know, you spoke a little bit about why and, as an alternative to PE, I just wanted you to elaborate a little bit more around why you think, teaching mindful movement and how you think meditation will really benefit children as opposed to the, conventional PE kind of program.
Yeah. I'm a sport lover, so I've done sport since I was a little kid. I was always a sporty kid, and I went and did my Masters of Teaching after I did my exercise science because I wanted to go and teach PE classes to kids. And currently our curriculum is very sport-based, so it's like ball sports, athletics, swimming, all of those kind of sports that are skill-based. And if you don't really have a background in that, they're really challenging. And a lot of kids just kind of go, I'm not interested and I'm not going to do that. So I'm just not going to move. So their association with moving their body is really tarnished in the school curriculum. So a lot of people get out of school, they go, I hated sport. I don't like moving my body. And so then they get to 25, 30 and they go, I don't like moving, and they go to a gym, they hate it because they don't know how to use anything properly. And then they find something like yoga and Pilates, and I've had so many of my clients say to me, I wish I knew about this earlier because it's non-competitive, I feel strong, I don't have to have a lot of knowledge, and I see results really well. And so basically my big wow moment was when I had a year 8 girl say to me, I'm really happy you like sport, but I don't like sport. And I was just like, I never thought of people not liking sport because I'm a sporty person. And so it kind of changed my whole experience. And then I was like, okay, how can I provide kids with something that they can do and it shows them that they can move their body in a way that they will love?
Very interesting. I have a friend of mine, he's a comedian, and he does this bit about, how they say sports builds character in kids. And he goes, yeah, for the 5% who are good, but for the other 95%, it traumatizes them for life. When I was younger, we didn't have parents out there, taking us to events and everything being organized. We went out and you met other kids and you took care of business. And it was cold, hard kids being kids. So if you weren't good enough, you learned that right away. You're told you suck.
Yeah.
Don't come back tomorrow. And that's like, okay, not a big deal we think, but when you talk about trauma, it is like that. So when you can reach a kid at that age and give them enthusiasm about what's really better for them, like you say, later on in life, man, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I think schools have this amazing opportunity. You have all these kids that are forced to come to your place. They're forced to do something. And yes, forced is not the right word, but we have them at a time frame of their life.
It is in Catholic school.
Yeah, exactly. We have them at a time where they're so malleable and they're so impressionable. So why wouldn't we use that platform as teachers and as a school curriculum and as a school community to provide kids with an opportunity? That's what it is. And it's an opportunity for them to see something different. Because, as kids get older, some kids that like sport will go play sport outside of school. So when they're at school and they're playing basketball, half the kids already know how to play basketball. The other half of the kids are really good at basketball. And then there's 3 kids in the class that go, I've never played basketball. I hate basketball. And they sit in the corner. So not only do they put themselves out of the position of being part of the class, they also then ostracize them from their whole class community. Yes, and that's where I think really, that's when that real feeling of sport is not for me and I'm just not a sporty person. I think sport and movement need to be put together.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point. And, a lot of people have said that they're traumatized from not being picked, when people pick the sporting team and they might be the last one to get picked. So that kind of removes any of those kinds of issues. So Georgie, you've been running this physically in schools as a program for a little while now. What was the feedback that you got from the teachers? I'm particularly interested in meditation, how that has helped with the students' behavior, or learning, concentration.
It's pretty amazing. What I find with my classes, I have to structure them so that it sounds bad, but I kind of have to tire them out a little bit before I get them to meditate, because otherwise they're in this heightened state. They've come from lunch or they've come somewhere and they're really ready to go. So normally what I'll do is I'll do some Pilates with them, which they think is like yoga and pretty chill, but it's not. I work them pretty hard and then I get them to meditate for 15 minutes. So I take them through a guided meditation where I explain what's going on and they chill out. And all of the teachers, I have sometimes I teach 40 year 9 boys, which is 15-year-old boys. And they want to
God bless you. Wow. Yeah. God bless you.
And they want to hit each other and they want to kick each other and they want to laugh at each other and knock each other. And these kids, they sit there or they lie down with their eyes shut and their palms facing up to the sky, and they do it for 15 minutes. And the teachers just go, I've never, ever, ever seen year 9 boys sit still.
I sense there's some kind of bribe involved here, though.
No, not at all.
Really?
They literally just lie down. After I've worked,
we can talk. We can talk here. Just so you know.
Yeah, no. They really do. After I've worked them hard, and I'm a bit of because I know behavior management, I can get them on my side, and then they lie down and they just. Kids kind of enjoy this feeling of I can just relax for a second, because if you think about it, kids hold the mobile phone or they've got a telly or a TV or a computer or whatever with them all the time. So that means that they're stimulated all the time. So for them to sit there with their thoughts for 10 minutes, they all get up, they walk calmly, they're a little bit more chill, they don't yell as much, and a lot of them walk up to me and say, thank you so much, because they've never done anything like it before unless they're sleeping.
When it comes to autism,
yeah,
okay, and this is partially a theory, but I think it's based on some. I think I'm onto something here, you know. But one of the major things, especially with Asperger's, you know, a form of autism, is not being kind of antisocial, right?
yeah,
There's a theory out there that, you know, autism really isn't autism. It's really just kind of a behavioral thing that, like, I know there's a lot of athletes, I know there's a lot of musicians that find that niche. They find that one instrument, or they find that one sport where everything else they can shut out and they can focus on one thing. So they're not going to be good students. You know, maybe their personal relationships with people are gonna, but when they get on that court or they get on that stage and then they're in that zone and they make good livings, and some are like, you know, computer programmers, they find their niche. And that's sometimes just the key. I think what you're doing, you're really onto something here. If you can expose people to that, because ADD is like that too. You get labeled, and these words carry heavy stigmas with them.
yeah.
If you're deemed autistic, wow, that's like shame within the family. Oh no, you know, or ADD is another one, not as severe as autism, but you know, ADD is an inability to focus, really, right? I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't go through some period of that in their life?
Exactly. And I think
This
that
stuff helps a lot.
exactly. There's a reason why there's this big movement for people to kind of sit with their own thoughts for a second, because our world is so highly stimulated. We're always going, we always feel like we need to be doing something, going somewhere, talking to someone. And I think to be able to step back and just go, compress and just let everything go, and like literally reset the mind and really focus on what you're trying to achieve, where you're going, it kind of gives you this clarity, and you can kind of walk out and go, okay, I know what I'm doing and I know what I need to do. And it really sets the tone. If you do it at the day, start of the day, it really sets the tone for the day. And I think that kids in particular, they can get really caught up in their own emotions. They've got so much going on in their brains that for them to sit there and learn how to control how their brain is making them feel and how that's relating to their body is really, 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 really important for not only the kid itself, but the parent, the school, the community, the classroom vibe, everything. So it just brings everyone back to reality and grounds them.
Yeah, and I think now more than ever, now that we're all in isolation and children are homeschooling, they probably need this more than ever, you know, because a lot of people are experiencing anxiety and stress and the unknown and the uncertainty. So now is a great time for children to learn a skill like this. What day do you actually launching the online part of the program, Georgie?
Yeah, so the website's live, so they can go on, and basically I want the schools to commit to the program for their kids, because there's a lot of online programs that are out there now which you have to pay for and that are like, you know, $50 a month or whatever it is. And my goal was for schools to be able to provide their students with access to it, and then they can download the content and the schools can use it in their PE curriculum and so on. But basically I want it to be really accessible. So by doing that, by getting the school to commit to it, it makes the kids be able to have access, and not only the kids, but also the whole family, so the parents and everyone be able to have access to something that they can have as part of their daily ritual. Because a lot of these kids are going to be inside in an apartment or wherever they are, they can't get outside, the parents are going insane, rightly so, because it's really hard to have kids entertained for that long. And to be able to have a moment where not only the kids but the parents sit there and they go, let's do this guided meditation together, let's all just set the tone for the day, and let's really commit to having this calmness, because kids are going to notice their parents are stressed. They're going to be stressed all the time. And so why not make it like a whole family thing where the whole family goes, okay, this is our situation and let's try and make the best of the situation as we can.
Is this globally available?
Yeah, so it's going to be online. Yeah.
So anybody can access it?
Yeah.
That's great. How do they find it? Where is it at?
It's on www.mindfulmovementgroup.com.
Oh, that's simple enough. Great.
Yeah, so it's basically what they do is the school commits to the program for however long, just it might be a month, that they just want to do it for a month, and it's $1 per kid that's a user. So that's US like 50 cents at the moment because that's our dollar. And and for then the kids get complete access, unlimited to every program that they want. And every month a whole new bunch of videos get uploaded that are new and fresh and focusing on different things. So like one of the videos, it's a yoga class and it's get energized. So it's about getting that blood flow going and getting that movement going. And the classes only go for 20 minutes and the meditations are 10. So basically it can engage a kid for 20 minutes. And then if they're 16 or 17 and can go for longer, they go, maybe I'll do a Pilates class and then I'll do a 20-minute yoga class. And then it becomes 40 minutes of exercise. But I wanted to make it into blocks that people can block together or use throughout the day. So you might do something in the morning and then in the afternoon you might do something a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Georgie, what about, say a parent sees this video and they really love the concept and they want to get their children involved, but their school hasn't signed up for the program. Is there any way that parents can access your services?
Yeah, we're working on that at the moment, on getting it so that you can purchase it for like your family. At the moment, I want to focus on schools as a whole because that's where I think the changes need to happen. It needs to be like a whole community commitment. And I like the idea of, your friends at school, we're all doing this together kind of situation. That's why I've been able to create something that's really content heavy, but is at a really good accessible price for schools because, schools aren't paying for, extra people to come in anymore or coaches and things like that. Yeah. So it's really good for kids to be able to have access to that on their own accord, which is something that we need to give kids enough credit to kind of take ownership of their health and their health and well-being. And once they start using the program, hopefully they'll start to feel, they sleep a bit better, they're clearer-minded, they can learn a bit easier, so they can concentrate a bit more, and they retain the information that they're trying to learn.
When you formulated this whole concept, was it deliberate that you kind of made small increments of time? I know as an adult, when I go to the gym and do cardio, like I used to be able to just, get on a treadmill and go for it. Now my ADD kicks up sometimes where, because maybe I don't, it's one thing when you're young and you don't realize, when you don't really want to be there, you force yourself, you go. Now when I don't really want to be there, I don't go.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Yeah. But so I forced myself to get in the door, and then I had to come up with these ways. And I had a friend of mine that helped me with this. So instead of doing an hour of cardio on a treadmill, I'll do 20 minutes on a treadmill, maybe 20 minutes on the elliptical, 20 minutes on the bike or the Stairmaster, but I break it up. I even put my playlists 20 minutes long so I could, space it out. It just makes it easier. I only got short intervals. My goal is met. Next goal. Boom, boom. And then an hour's up and I'm gone. It's like, it's the advantage of not being very bright. When you're not very bright, it's easy to outsmart yourself.
Exactly. I did 20 minutes. My, one of my uncles he's a really good businessman and he's really good at thinking about how to present something to someone and how it's going to work and how it actually comes together. Strategically, because I teach classes that are 50 minutes long, but I'm physically there. So I can entertain the kids and get them involved, and they're seeing my face. Even though the videos are really interactive and, you know, like we're talking, it's still a video. I'm not there. I'm not forcing them. I'm trying to engage them. And 20 minutes, I personally think, is something that I'm like, okay, it's only 20 minutes. I can do 20 minutes. And and the beauty of it is that, and this is what everyone says to me, is that with yoga and Pilates, I'm talking to you constantly, saying, this is where you should be feeling it. This is what we're moving. And now we're breathing, breathe in, breathe out. So by this process of me talking to you constantly, it actually stops your brain from thinking, because you're focusing so much on your body and what your body's trying to do, that this really beautiful thing happens is when you've done 20 minutes of exercise, you go, wow, I feel really good. Like, I feel physically good. But I feel even better because my brain hasn't been pummeling me with all these ideas and thoughts and feelings, because I've just listened and I've done what I've been told. And so by the end, I've actually really done mindful movement for 20 minutes, and they feel like they've done meditation almost.
Yeah, it pretty much is, isn't it? It's like a moving meditation when you're so present that your mind is so focused on the exercise that you don't have any room to think. And that's what's so beneficial about these types of exercises, you know, yoga, meditation, or Pilates, Tai Chi.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. You know, I teach yoga and Pilates myself as well, and I see the benefits. It's so amazing. You've tried yoga as well, Scott, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah? Did you?
I have. I wouldn't say I'm the most flexible person you've ever seen, but I used to play a lot of basketball, right? And I would just play a game of basketball. And when the game is over, I can't walk. Like, I literally, like, my feet are sore. I'm talking about when you're really going. I was much younger, and you're really ripping it. And you don't even realize what you're doing because your mind is in the game. It's action, reaction. So you're consumed. So it made me think of this when you were just talking, because when you're given these directions, I'm just saying, this makes my life easy. All I have to do is listen and follow.
Yeah.
I don't have to. When I'm running, all I'm thinking about is, whew. You know, my mind's going all these places. Why are you doing this to yourself? Like, you know, I really wish a better song was playing. You know, like, I just go to these places. It's all distractions coming in and trying to swat off these distractions. Whereas when you're consumed, when you're taking a yoga class, and you follow in direction, it's just easier.
Yeah.
It's just simple for me, you know. So I love, you know, the whole concept.
Yeah, sorry, the reason I asked you that, Scott, is because you mentioned just before, you said ADD. And I was curious whether you found mindful movement helpful, like whether that was something that helped you.
I'm like any other guy. You go into a yoga class with a room full of women that can do these things with their bodies. I mean, I'm coming back tomorrow, definitely. What time? Just tell me what time. You see, listen, let's be real, right? Then when you start to see, 95% of life is just getting there. Suit up and show up. And then you got the other 5% that makes the difference. But if you don't suit up and show up, nothing happens. So get there. It doesn't matter what gets you there. Get there. And then the process can start to, you know, unfold. And then you can listen, you know, the distractions when you even, you know, if you're in a room full of women, right? Women, and maybe you're a little insecure and you're a beginner in yoga, right away, like, how many women do you think, or men, don't go because they can't do what everybody else in the class is doing? And they don't want to feel that, like, that out of place, awkward person, right? And as it evolves and you say it's about you and your mat in a room full of people that are into themselves and their mat, and it's always bringing yourself back to your mat, back to your pose, back to, you know, just your heel. What part of your heel are you leaning on? Like, simple little things, but I mean, it's that's what happens. I think, yes, the balance it teaches you, it calms you. It's so calming. It's so good for ADD. This is like a godsend for anybody with this.
Yeah.
You know, today, by the way, it's a beautiful day. All I thought of this morning was I used to take yoga with Tao. She was like a mentor for me. And to drive up there on a beautiful day And today was such a beautiful day. It was just like I had, again, playlists that, you know, everything was about. I would come home. Like I really felt like way better than I ever felt when I went to church. I mean, this was like, this is real. You know, I just did something and I made a commitment, and the feeling going there, the anticipation, and then after you like, you've got your reward and you're just driving home going, if anybody could start a day better than this, man, please tell me about it, because I don't know, man, this is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
You know, that was like today for me, missing that.
Well,
my last ramble.
I mentioning about feeling awkward in a yoga class full of women. I guess that's the beauty of doing it online as well, Georgie, because you don't have to worry about that. You're in the privacy of your own home.
I think the big thing is that what I kind of love because I love teaching classes physically, like going and meeting all these kids and getting them to do stuff they've never done before. But the really beautiful thing is that when I was creating this online series, I was going, these kids are going to have no pressure, no one looking at them, no one judging them, no one doing anything. So all they can focus on is themselves. For the next 3 months, when they're not going to be at school, they have this opportunity that they can get stronger in themselves without the pressure of being in a class.
Yep.
And I think that's really great, because it allows people to go, okay, I've done yoga and I've done Pilates and I've done meditation. I can now and go participate fully and really enjoy the process and go, I'm a little bit empowered because I know how it's going to go and I know how it feels and I know what I'm trying to achieve, which I think is awesome, because that's the biggest problem, is that people go, I'm not good enough, I'm not flexible, I haven't got good core strength. So they just go, well, I'm not going to do it. Mm-hmm. So this kind of stops that I'm not going to do it because of.
Have you ever had that one kid or more than one kid that you thought, like, you know, there's no way I'm reaching this kid? Yeah. And then you do, like that special teacher student bond. Could you share one of those experiences?
Yeah, I had one of the, I had this boy who's obviously really athletic, basketballer, tall guy, bit awkward limbed, kind of didn't really know what was going on. And he kind of kept looking at his mate, laughing a little bit. And at about the half an hour mark, he really like clued in and he started really focusing on himself, and he was breathing and he was getting into the movement. Anyway, did the meditation. At the end of the class, he comes up to me and he goes, how can I do more of this? I really enjoyed this class. And, you know, he asked me for my contact details so I can pass on some information. He goes, I feel like this will really help my basketball. And I was like, for kids to be able to realize and then go, hang on, I could use this in my life and this could be really beneficial for me, was awesome, because that's what I'm there for. I try and reach kids that are non-sporty, but also I want to reach the kids that are sporty, because those kids need it just because everyone can benefit from being more flexible, more mobile, stronger in their glutes and their core, and really focus on that muscle brain activation, because that's what's going to make you a better athlete, makes you stop, start, go, move direction, and all of those things. So everyone gets a kick out of doing something like this. It's just people just need to know what it is.
Yeah. Right. Just wanted to know, Georgie, what is your bigger vision with the program? Where would you love to see it go?
Yeah, well, I think at the start of this, you know, it kind of forced me to think outside the box, because I wasn't able to do physical classes. But the more I've done this online program and how I've seen how it can benefit kids, I really would love it to be something that I expand further, that, you know, there's a program for kids that are in a basketball team, or that their coaches can go, okay, you're at week 1 here, I need to do week 2 classes now, which are going to be focused on after game recovery, pre-game warm-up, you know, core classes and things like that, that the coaches can prescribe to their kids, to be more of a program, so that they kind of commit as a group. And I just want kids to be able to do something on their own, because at some point their fitness and their well-being and health comes into their hands. And I think providing them something that they don't have to pay for, and providing them something that is going to be interactive and they can see benefits from, is something that, and I can reach a lot more kids. And that's something that I'm like, I just love that, because at the moment I can only reach the ones that I can drive to in Melbourne, but if I can reach kids that are in the US or wherever, that would be amazing, because I think everyone can benefit from something like this, and I think every family can benefit and every school community can.
I think you're really onto something here. I think that niche is like, because you can get them early. That's the whole, I think that's really the key. Get them early.
Yeah, get them early.
Let them know that this is cool. You got to make, if it's cool, they're in. If it's not cool, it's a tough sell.
Well, I think all of our high-level athletes in Australia, like AFL players, which like football players, they all do Pilates. So there's this big thing of all of these boys are going, well, what is this? Like, I want to be an AFL player. I need to do this kind of thing. It's really good for kids to see that in their role models as well.
It is true. It's so true. It's way more prevalent within the whole world. It's not that it's kept quiet or secret. It's just that, yoga is not the type of thing that yogis, other outsiders talk about it more than the people actually doing it. It becomes like just a practice and your thing. But
yeah,
it's just a mellow thing. But so many people, dancers, athletes, everybody's doing it.
Yeah, the general population is really getting on board, which I think is the biggest group of people, obviously, and they're the ones that really need it. And it's got a lot of benefits to it, so it's great.
Awesome.
Georgie, wow.
Georgie, thank you so much for coming on and speaking with us today.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
Have a lovely day in isolation.
So say again, so anybody can find your website.
www.mindfulmovementgroup.com, and there's a contact page. You just send through the contact your information, any questions that you have, or if you want your school to sign up, and and then I'll get back to you with the details.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.